All right, everybody, welcome into the high noon stream for today. Today is, we'll get into all that in a minute. Hi, folks, I'm Pugs Moran. I do this every Monday through Friday, noon, right here, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. And what we like to do here for you is we give you the entire day, everything that you need to know. We're going to run through the trends. We're going to run through the headlines. We're going to give you whatever the hot topics are. If people are discussing it, if it's just the sort of thing that you run into people at the water cooler at work and you hear them talking about something, I am going to give you the Cliff's Notes on how you can participate in those conversations. If you listen to this show Monday through Friday at noon, you got no excuse. You should know at least a little something about what's going on in the world. And that's what this is. This show is designed for you and for me so that we can all just be up to speed on what all the idiots out there are talking about. So without further ado, let's get into it. It is the High Noon Show for the first day of September. Happy birthday, September! For the first day of September, year of our Lord, 2022. September 1st, I'll have you know, is the 245th day, 244th. 245th. Why did I say 245th? The 244th day of the year. 245th, if we're counting leap years, and we don't do that around these parts. There are 121 days remaining until the end of the year. Okay, so what we like to do here is we start out the show. Yeah, we're going to give you all the headlines, all the current events, all that stuff, anything that's trending, the stuff people are buzzing about. You're going to get that. Hold your horses. Just let me explain. What we do is we start out, we give you all of the reasons why today is important, whether it's or memorable, whatever. We run through some of the historical things that have occurred on this very day throughout history. We celebrate some birthdays of some great contributors to human society. Actually, that's not true. I'm thinking about somebody who's got a birthday today and wasn't exactly great. Put a pin in that. We'll get there. Deaths. We mourn the loss of people. So we do that. That's the first segment. Let's get into all of that. Okay, so what's happened on this day? What makes September the 1st so memorable? Well, I'll have you know that on this day in 1532, that's right, we're going all the way back to 1532. On this day in 1532, Lady Anne Boleyn is made the Marquis of Pembroke by her fiancé, King Henry VIII. Oh, that crazy couple. Look at how happy they were. Look at how happy Anne Boleyn and her crazy ass family. They were happy once. Of course, he ended up cutting her head off, but they were happy on this day in 1532. On this day in 1969, yeah, nothing happened for almost 500 years. Nothing happened between 1532 and 1969. In 1969, on this day, a coup in Libya brings Muammar Gaddafi to power. I am looking at Gaddafi. Gaddafi's been around most of my life. He was not around now. We saw what happened to him. We saw he had the dictator's exit to end all dictator exits. I'm telling you, remember he was hiding in the sewer. And they fished him out of the sewer, and then they basically raped him to death with bayonets right there on the hood of a military vehicle. And they filmed it. Oh, you can see it. Oh, it's on YouTube. You can see, if you've ever wanted to see Muammar Gaddafi get his, you can, because that raw footage is out there, and it is it's disturbing, but also disturbingly pleasant. It is pleasing in some way to watch an absolute monster get taken apart by his people. Let's see what else happened here. So that was in 69. In 1982, the United States Air Force Space Command is founded. Yeah, this is the thing that I'm a space nerd, so I know about Space Command. I know what Air Force Space Command is. It's a thing. It's been a thing. And then a couple of years ago, because nobody knows about Air Force Space Command, nobody talks about it. Why? Because we don't have space wars yet. We don't have fighter jets and going into space and pew 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 pew. We don't have that, right? But the idea is that we might be moving into a militarization of space, and maybe we ought to have some control of that. So on this day in 1982, they formed the United States Space Command, and then rebranded it as Space Force because people didn't know it existed and somebody else wanted credit for founding it, so whatever. But now we have Space Force. Now it's called Space Force. Although I do think Space Command is still around. Let me see. Is Air Force Space Command still around? It says that it was. It would have to be, because they had a whole bunch of things they do. They do things that just Space Operations Command, United States Space Force Space Operations. Okay, so it's sort of been absorbed in. So it's a part of Space Force. It is headquartered at Peterson Space Force Base in Colorado and serves as the U.S. Space Force's command center. All right, whatever. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. But it's been around since 1982. I mean, it's not like we just invented out of whole cloth, a brand new. It was there. We just didn't know it was there. And somebody went, "We got this cool thing that nobody knows about. I'm gonna tell them about it, and I'm gonna rename it. It's gonna be mine." That's basically what happened. I mean, I'm a supporter of Space Force. I am. Absolutely I am. You know, I'm a space nerd though. So, I mean, I'm not critical of it. I think it's actually a good thing. I think it's a good thing that these areas of our defense, I don't want to call them military, that sounds a bit too aggressive, but these aspects, these new emerging, technologically emerging aspects of our future defense, very important, man. We can't take our eyes off that. We can't just, sit here and pearl clutch and, be all morally constipated over, the militarization of space. Hey, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. We can't stop it, but we got to be ready for it. Okay, so there you go. On this day, Space Force. 1983, on this day, 1 year later, the Cold War. Oh, this was a big one. I remember this. This was on a Sunday. I want to say this was on a Sunday night because these are the kinds of things these are one of the things that I remember vividly. I remember, here's my memory of it. And maybe I'm wrong. I was laying in bed. It was Sunday night, and it was before school. It was Monday. I had to go to school. And I remember laying in bed. And I was listening to a radio show that I used to listen to. It was on late at night. Not late at night, but like 11 o'clock at night. I used to fall asleep to it. It's called the CBS Radio Mystery Theater. And they're these stories. They're like little like Twilight Zone-y stories, but it's all audio. It was on the radio, and it was actors and stuff, and it was so good. I used to fall asleep to it every night. In fact, my 13-year-old son uses it quite often to fall asleep to as well. Why? Because every episode of the CBS Radio Mystery Theater is available right there on YouTube. You want to fall asleep listening to some really cool, creepy stories? That's where you go. I remember I was laying in bed and I was listening to the CBS Radio Mystery Theater with E.G. Marshall, and they took a news break, and the news break was an extended news break because of this situation that had just happened, and that was Korean Airlines Flight 007 is shot down by a Soviet jet. The commercial aircraft enters Soviet airspace, killing all 269 people on board. So there's a Korean jet, and it drifts over into Soviet airspace, and the Soviet Union MiG fighter jets are like, get out of here, and they blow it out of the sky. And they give a huge international scandal. Russian military is shooting down commercial planes, but they had drifted into Soviet airspace. And here's the thing. So this is just like a late at night flight somewhere in the Far East. Well, actually, I don't know where it got shot down. Where was it? It was over. Okay, so let's say somewhere way far away, far from Texas for sure. So this plane's, of all the people in the world that could have been on airplanes during this really strange thing that happened, this outlier kind of aggression from the Soviet Union during the Cold War against a commercial airline plane. This was so weird. And then when it was revealed that one of the passengers on the plane was United States Congressman Lawrence McDonald, of all what, so this civilian plane that was blown out of the sky. I mean, there's so much about this story. If you've ever really jumped into the Flight 007 story, holy cow, man. Like, I'll tell you one thing. I'm not entirely sure that plane wasn't intentionally flying over Soviet space taking pictures, because we had intelligence deals with the South Koreans. They were helping us out with recon and stuff like that. Terrible, terrible situation. Made all the more complicated and all the more intriguing, especially for the conspiracy people, with the knowledge that there just so happened to be a United States congressman on that plane. A congressman. So, yeah, I don't know. That was a big deal. That was a huge deal. I was laying in bed. I was listening to it, and it came on the radio, and I was like, whoa, wait a second. Are we about to go to war with Russia because they're shooting down On this day in, what's the next one? 2004. Oh gosh, I didn't want to do this one. You know what? I put this one up and I'm like, well, it was a big event. Maybe I should talk about it. And now I'm there. I don't want to talk about it. On this day in 2004, the Beslan school siege began in Russia. I don't know if you remember this. This is a bunch of armed separatist breakaway terrorists took over a school. They held hundreds and hundreds of people. 385 people died. So the terrorists went in, they took the school, they started making demands of the Russian government, and the Russian government said, we don't care about kids, we're going to kill you all. And they basically killed everybody. They basically just went in, no regard for the hostages, no negotiate, just let's go in. The Beslan school siege begins on this day when armed terrorists take school children and staff hostage in North Ossetia, Russia. By the end of the siege, 3 days later, more than 385 people are dead, including the hostages, other civilians, security personnel, and the terrorists. They just killed everybody. It just, man, imagine you're... I mean, you want to talk about the Uvalde police and how the parents have a right to be upset with the Uvalde police? I mean, these parents in Russia, their government basically just said, go in and kill everybody. If you hit some kids, fine, whatever. We're not going to stand for terrorism. We're going to show the terrorisms that this is what we do. We don't care if you're a classroom of 9-year-olds. Kids. More than that, 385 people died. Unbelievable. On this day in 2004. And then there was the theater. There was another one in Russia that happened, maybe it was a couple of years before or a couple of years after. Terrorists took over a theater and they did the same thing. They just killed everybody in the theater. Oh, you're going to take over a theater? There's a whole bunch of innocent civilians in there. What, you think we're going to deal with you? No, we're just going to blow up the entire building. Screw everybody. God, they don't dick around. That is a jacked up society over there. They have no regard. The current power structure in the Soviet Union, in Russia, appears to have no regard for humanity, not for human life. We're all just ants. They're in control. There's probably a couple thousand people at the top. They're in control, and everybody else underneath them is just ants to be exterminated. Let's do some births. Born on this day. I only mention this because, well, it'll become obvious. Born on this day in 1854, Engelbert Humperdinck. That's right. Engelbert Humperdinck was born on this day in 1854. Not that Engelbert, okay, so there is an Engelbert Humperdinck that we here in the year 2022 may know. I mean, if you're over the age of 40, maybe 50, I don't know. You may have heard of Engelbert Humperdinck, the English singer with the silly name. Fun fact, Engelbert Humperdinck, the English singer, that's not his real name. His real name is something like Bob Smith. It's like something real normal. And then he decided for like stage presence to change his name to something. Or is Engelbert Humperdinck? Yeah, no, it's that he changed his name to Engelbert Humperdinck, which people are like, what? Why would you do that? Well, apparently he took the name from this guy. There was already an Engelbert Humperdinck. Born in 1854, he was a German playwright. Look at that. And musical composer. Born on this day in 1866, James J. Corbett, better known as Gentleman Jim Corbett. Gentleman Jim Corbett and John L. Sullivan, they had one of the earliest wars in the heavyweight division. He was born on this day. Gentleman Jim Corbett. Let's see. Born on this day in 1895. I'm just mentioning this not because this person's anyone you should know of, but born on this day in 1895, Engelbert Zaxa. We are lousy with Engelberts right here. This is Engelbert Day. I'd never, other than the singer, I thought that was a totally made up name, Engelbert. Never heard the name Engelbert before. Turns out, what used to be kind of a famous name, kind of a popular name. Born in 1923 on this day. This is a weird one because we just talked about him yesterday. That's right. We mentioned him yesterday. He died yesterday. Yesterday was the anniversary of his death in 1969. Today is his birthday. He died on the night before his birthday. Hey, happy birthday. You're dead. Rocky Marciano. We talked about him yesterday. The only undefeated heavyweight boxer in history. Died in a plane crash in Iowa in 1969. Died yesterday. Died on August the 31st, 1969. Born on this day in 1923. Born on this day in 1933, Ann Richards, American educator and politician, 45th governor of Texas. Oh, that lady had balls. She was a Texas lady through and through. She took no shit from nobody. And now she's dead. Last was she the last? Is she the last Democratic governor? See, when people say like Texas ain't never going, blah, blah, I'm like, what? I go, I remember when Texas was a blue state. What are you talking about? Texas hasn't been red forever. This isn't like set in stone. Things change. Ann Richards was a popular governess. I guess we call her governor. She was a popular governor. Lyndon Baines Johnson is still one of the most highly regarded politicians in the history of Texas. Now we're stuck with the Ted Cruzes and the Abbotts and the Beto's and God, I don't know. I don't know. Where are the quality choices? Born on this day in 1933, umbilical cousins with Ann Richards, also dead. Let's see, who outlived who? Oh, Ann Richards. She outlived him by a good number of years. Conway Twitty, born on this day in 1933. Born on this day in 1938, Alan Dershowitz. Potential child molester, noted friend of Epstein, disgraced attorney. There you go. So happy birthday to you, Alan Dershowitz. Deal with all of that. 1939, born on this day, Lily Tomlin, American actress, comedian, screenwriter, and producer. When I was very little, like about 7, 8 years old, Lily Tomlin was very big in the 70s and the 80s. But Lily Tomlin was the first person that I remember hearing an adult say. I heard an adult say while watching Lily Tomlin, "Oh, she's one of those lesbians." It's the first time I ever heard the word lesbian. And this was like in 1976. I think she is I think Lily Tomlin now at this age is very comfortable with who she is and whatever. But in the 70s when she was a superstar, she wasn't nobody was out of the closet in the 70s. And I just remember though, that's not, I guess I don't know first. Yeah, I do. Right. We know she's a lesbian. Lily Tomlin's a lesbian. Anyway, I remember it's the first time I ever heard the word lesbian was attached to Lily Tomlin. So in my mind, she's the queen of all lesbians because it's the first person I've ever heard have to wear that. Or not have to wear that. I shouldn't put it that way. First person, who I heard that term applied to is probably the proper way to say it. Born on this day in 1946, Barry Gibb, English singer, songwriter, and producer. That's right, I said English. A lot of people think Australian. They don't like that. They moved to Australia, but they consider themselves English. The Gibb brothers, the Bee Gees. Watch that documentary on HBO Max from like a year ago or something, the Bee Gees documentary. I came in a time where my generation kind of rejected the Bee Gees. We rejected everything about them because they were the music of a generation that was in front of us. And it was disco. And, we were kind of coming of age in the, return to the punk guitar kind of era. So it was a disco sucks, Bee Gees sucks. Then I watched that documentary as a grown adult with an open mind and some life experience to be able to watch and really sort of absorb what's going on in this documentary. The Bee Gees were ballers, man. They were ballers. They just weren't legitimately like the biggest band in the world. They were also really good at what they did, really good at being producers, really good at songwriting, really good at creating pop songs. I came away watching that Bee Gees documentary on HBO Max and I thought, respect, Bee Gees. You got my respect. You guys, I know I was just a dumb kid, and what did I know? 9 years old, Bee Gees suck. 9-year-old doesn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing. I just was rebelling against, whatever I felt was the authority of the moment. And older people like the Bee Gees, so screw them. But happy birthday to you, Barry Gibb. You're a baller, man. You really are. Born on this day in 1950, Phil McGraw, Dr. Phil. Born on this day in 1957, Gloria Estefan. I love the way she says her name. She says her name in like the most glamorous way. I am Gloria Estefan. I don't know. It's great. It does something to me. It's done something to me for like 40 years whenever she says her name. And it's usually when she's referring to her husband or maybe her ex-husband at this point. Remember the other guy the dude in the band with her, Emilio? It's like, it's my husband, Emilio Estefan. It's just so beautiful. It's just the way, it's so pretty the way she says it. Anyway, fun fact about the Miami Sound Machine. Miami Sound Machine became famous. They were a club band in Miami. They were a local club band that played the clubs in Miami in the 1980s. And guess who loved the Miami Sound Machine? All the coke dealers, the cartels, the giant Miami Scarface 80s, people in Miami loved the Miami Sound Machine. They would go out there coked up, they're partying, come shake your body, baby, do that gunga. The band's playing like, this band is great. And then like there's some like Cuban coke dealer like Scarface, right? He's like, well, I'm sitting on a mountain of money. Why don't we bankroll them? That's Miami Sound Machine became the Miami Sound Machine on the national level because coke dealers put them on the map. Coke dealers basically banked them. And then the record companies loved their cocaine. So if the record companies could get a, one-on-one with a big coke dealer, and all they have to do is sign the Miami Sound Machine, and now maybe they've got really good lines, no pun intended, to quality cocaine. Oh yeah, the record companies love that arrangement. Yeah, we'll push the hell out of Miami Sound Machine. You got some coke for us? Give us some coke. We've got the Rolling Stones coming to town. We need some. Keith Richards needs some coke. Just keep the coke coming. So that's a fun fact about that. I mean, they deserved it. They were good. They were a good band. They're a really good band. But people make it, and you get your breaks in many different ways. In the Miami Sound Machine, they were loved by the coke dealers. They were loved by the cartels, and they became a very big band in the 80s for a couple of years. Born on this day in 1959, Kenny Mayne of ESPN. Fun fact about Kenny Mayne that people don't know. I remember I had this argument with somebody a couple of years ago in a bar, a friend of mine, about Kenny Mayne. Do you guys know Kenny Mayne was a quarterback? Did you know Kenny Mayne is a former professional football player? Kenny Mayne, ESPN, the guy who we just think is like, he sucked. He was like a third string bench rider who had a cup of coffee with the Seattle Seahawks. But still, nobody knows Kenny Mayne was a quarterback. Nevada, I think. Same school as Colin Kaepernick, I think, is where Kenny Mayne played quarterback. All right. Here you go. All right, let's celebrate this piece of shit's birthday. Happy birthday to you in hell, burning for eternity. All of your 72 virgins have STDs. Born on this day in 1968, Muhammad Atta. He's the ringleader, the 9/11 hijackers, the guy whose face when you picture the 9/11, you picture that guy. That's him. Kind of looks like Oscar from The Office. That's what I see. I'm probably wrong, but I don't know. Hold on, sneeze is coming. Excuse me. Let's see here. Padma Lakshmi is celebrating birthday. Padma Lakshmi, born on this day in 1970. She is is she on the Food White Top Chef cooking hot, super hot girl, super hot woman, like if you had to create a goddess like on Earth, like if you were gonna go, okay, so she's a goddess. She's like really tall and she's a model, and I'm telling you, I don't know what she is. I don't know if she's Indian or Pakistani or she's something from over there, but man, I'm telling you, I have a thing for gorgeous women from that part of the world. They are just, I don't know if the skin complexion, they're just so beautiful. Big crush on Padma Lakshmi. Padma Lakshmi was married to Salman Rushdie, which was one of those like, what? Well, first of all, he's like 30 years older than her. He's not attractive, and she is a 12 on a 1 to 10 scale. I mean, how is this happening? Yeah. They haven't. They divorced. They didn't make it. Of course, they didn't make it. But whatever. And any updates on Salman Rushdie? Do we know how he's doing? He got stabbed and attacked in New York a couple of weeks ago. He's been in the hospital. I think he lost an eye. I don't know. I should probably look into that. I hadn't thought about him. Happy birthday, Padma. I hope your ex-husband's doing well. And finally, born on this day, and this is a big one for my kid. Oh my God. Born on this day in 1996, Zendaya, American actress and singer. My kid loves Zendaya. And why not? I mean, I love her too. Look at her. She is beautiful. Boy, oh boy. But also, my son loves Tom Holland. Tom Holland is my kid's Superman. Or Spider-Man. My kid loves Tom Holland. And Tom Holland and Zendaya are like the hot, young Hollywood couple right now. So he's very interested in the comings and goings of those two. Zendaya, I didn't know who Zendaya was until I saw Dune, right? I saw Dune, and I don't know if it's the opening scene, but it's one of the opening scenes of Dune where they're on the planet with all of the I don't know, what is it, the spice, right? Where they're mining the spice. And you see her, and she's hidden in the sand. She's like a sand warrior, and she's hidden in the sand. And all you see is her eyes, these blue eyes. And they like hyper digitized her eyes because the people who live on this planet have these crazy eyes. But she's got these crazy eyes in real life. So when they she was just striking. What a beautiful woman. Happy birthday, Zendaya. 26 years old today. All right, some deaths. We got some deaths quickly before we get into all of the topics and trends and headlines. Deaths, some big ones. Dead on this day in 1981, Albert Speer. Albert Speer was a German architect and author. He was the preferred architect of Adolf Hitler. Albert Speer was tasked with reimagining the Reich, reimagining the infrastructure and the buildings and all of that of the Reich. Imagine Albert Speer was a Nazi architect. He was Hitler's favorite architect. So, that kind of sucks for him, or it's good for him. I don't know. I guess it depends on how he felt about the whole Nazi situation. But he was undeniably a talented architect. And, he's just, he will not stand the test of time other than being this great villain for the Nazi Reich, right? I mean, it's too bad. It's like if he had grown up anywhere else, he might be like a Frank Lloyd Wright or a Mies van der Rohe or something like that. But no, he's not. He's Albert Speer. He's disgraced. Incredible architect, though. If you ever look at just Google search Albert Speer and just look at some of his buildings, he had some cool ideas back then. He was way ahead of the time. Dead on this day in 2005. I mentioned this because this is an odd one. This was a guy who had a hit song. I don't know, probably 30 years ago. Was it 30 years? It was in the 90s. I know it had to have been in the 90s. Okay. So he had a hit song in the 90s, and no one had ever heard of him. I mean, unless you were really into like blues music or something. Hold on, let me see. We'll play it for you just so you can get an idea of this. But he came out of nowhere with this banger of a song, and it became a huge hit. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. There we go. All right. Oh, wow. I just pulled this guy up, and he's got a whole bunch of songs. I mean, nothing I've ever heard of except for this one. All right. Well, he died on this day in 2005. Do you remember this guy? R.L. Burnside, American singer, songwriter, and guitarist. His one hit. He had to have been like 80. As I recall, it was just him, an old blues man, and like a band of young people. Was that what it was? It was like his band were all people in their 20s, and he was like 80. Let's see if we can get to...
It's bad,
This is all the whole song is. It may have even been just the studio production where he was sampled and dropped in. I don't even know. Here you go. Here comes the lyric again. Oh, I guess it didn't. Yeah, this was a song. This was a hit song.
It's bad,
It's bad, That's pretty much the entire song. So cool. And he died on this day in 2005. R.L. Burnside died on this day in 2008. Here's a big one. This is a big one for me and my boy because we started watching all of his movies. I can't call him his movies, but you know what I mean? Jerry Reed, American singer, songwriter, guitarist, eastbound and down, load 'em up and trucking. So my kid and I started watching the Smokey and the Bandit movies. Start of the summer, we ran. When I say Smokey and the Bandit movies, I also include Cannonball Run. Anything where Bert was in a fast car. So we really got into like Bert because I think it's important. I think it's important for that type of masculinity to be, shown to, because it's a different kind of masculinity. Bert was cool. I love Bert Reynolds, but Jerry Reed was his sidekick. And we're watching, and my kid turns to me, and it was a Jerry Reed scene, and my kid turns to me and he goes, I like this guy. And I go, dude, everybody likes Jerry Reed. Jerry Reed, everybody likes. Ain't nobody not like Jerry Reed. He died on this day in 2008. And also dead on this day in 2012, Hal David. Hal David is someone you may not know, but he was the lyricist for Burt Bacharach. So if you've ever heard of Burt Bacharach and you think, oh, he's a great musician. Well, the guy who wrote all those lyrics is sorry, Hal David. Hal David wrote songs. Let's see here. Let's see, where do we start to get to his hits? The Story of My Life. Okay, there's a big one. Let's see here. He wrote exclusively for Dionne Warwick, the Carpenters, Dusty Springfield, B.J. Thomas, Gene Pitney, Tom Jones, and Jackie DeShannon and others. Let's see. I got to get some of his songs. He's got a bunch of songs. Okay. David's hits include Alfie, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, This Guy's in Love with You, I'll Never Fall in Love Again, I'll Never Fall in Love Again, Do You Know the Way to San Jose, Walk On By, What the World Needs Now, Say a Little Prayer, There's Always Something There to Remind Me, Anyone Who Had a Heart. He also wrote What's New Pussycat. He wrote The Look of Love. He wrote Casino Royale. He wrote he wrote a whole bunch of stuff. To All the Girls I've Loved Before. Okay, so there you go. There's a whole bunch more. Hal David, dead on this day in 2012. Historically prolific lyricist and songwriter. Most famous for being partners with Burt Bacharach. Although Burt Bacharach was also partners with Carol Bayer Sayer, but Hal David is a little bit more. I think Hal David maybe, because Hal David had his own career before he hooked up with Burt Bacharach. That was just sort of a power thing. All right, let's get into the trends. Let's get into all the things that are trending today and what everybody's talking about. First, the big headline, Soul of the Nation. That's right. Tonight from Independence Hall in Philadelphia, President Joe Biden will give a speech 10 weeks out from the midterms concerning, and here you go, the soul of the nation. Okay. All right. We'll see. Alaska is trending because in what many people are shocked by. I'm not. I'm actually encouraged that people got together, looked at Sarah Palin and went, yeah, no, no, come on. We need serious people now. Let's just stop. Let's just stop with the people who just say the stuff that go, yeah, I hate that too. Because that's basically how Sarah Palin and her likes campaign. Do you hate this? I hate this. Let's get them. Vote for me. I hate, and I'm not saying like hate like people and all that. Just it's gripe campaigning. That's all it is. So I mean, I'm done with that. I'm done with the gripe campaigning. Mary Peltola defeated Sarah Palin in the special election to the United States House in Alaska's at-large congressional district. What is significant about this is that the Democrats pick up another house in the Congress. There you go. Okay. Bank of America is trending. Bank of America is trending because Bank of America's community affordable loan solution has been put in place. It aims to make sustained home ownership attainable for more Black and Hispanic families, offering 0 down payments and 0 closing costs on new mortgages for Black and Hispanic families. Bank of America. All right, very good. You can. We're gonna have to do this for. I don't know how many years. How many years was redlining allowed? How many years was were banks told don't give mortgages to Black people? When did that end? When did all that stuff? When did banks start going into the communities and saying, okay, we'll make you a deal. We won't sell any homes in this community to these kinds of people. Because that happened. That's why Bank of America is taking this. Now there's a lot of people going, well, how come they get it? Because for like 100 years, they got nothing. It's why minority, this whole thing is about minority property ownership in America, which is 0, because for 100 years they weren't allowed to get a mortgage. They were allowed, but they weren't approved. You see what I'm saying? There was like this whole thing. So we all know, whatever you are, unless you're just like an avowed Klan member, I mean, that's wrong. A person works hard, they got the money and they can do it. You gotta give them an equal chance, right? Isn't that what America's about? That's what I thought America was about. But there was this institutional practice of denying mortgages to minority first-time home buyers. And that went on up until the 1970s. I mean, it was being actually, you probably make cases that it went on longer than that. But, good for Bank of America. They're doing this. And, white people, don't be mad. Don't be mad. Just go, yeah, that is kind of cool. How, for so many years they weren't allowed and now they're actually trying to make up for it. That is kind of cool. Why do they get houses? Because they were denied houses for all these years and they have zero property ownership in this country. So it's an attempt to kind of even the playing field. People complaining about the redistribution of wealth. Well, you don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Ain't nobody wants to do redistribution. But this is a way to sort of even the playing field, or at the very least, attempt to make amends for transgressions of the past. That's all. So good on Bank of America. I will never bank with Bank of America because I have a personal issue with them. But, from a greater standpoint, good for them. Dallas police is trending. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit because this is one that's trending right now, and I wanted to get into this. So, what do they call them? Challenge coins? I think I've heard that term. So if you're in one of the services or if you belong to like a men's group or something like that, sometimes these organizations press what they call coins, little commemorative coins that mean you're in the group and all that kind of stuff. The Dallas police, one Dallas police officer has created a challenge coin for his unit, I guess. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to read this because it's kind of a sensitive issue and I've got a bit of a provocative hot take on this at the end. So let me make sure we get it all out the way the Dallas Morning News presented it before I, go off half cocked, which I am known to do. So here's the story coming out of Dallas right now. Hours after, and this is what Dallas Morning News chose as the words. These are the words they choose. Hours after blatant racism by a Dallas police officer surfaced, a Dallas police major apologized. It's sickening and disgusting, Major Jim Lewis told a room full of people at the Polk Wisdom Branch Library during a previously scheduled meet and greet between community members and Dallas police officers who work under Lewis at South Central Patrol. The meeting, organized by the Dallas City Council member Tennell Atkins, had been on the calendar for quite some time. So this was a planned meeting. The Wednesday night event turned out to be perfect timing. On Tuesday night, Dallas Police Department said administrative staff learned that a police officer posted on social media a picture of a new challenge coin. Okay, challenge coin, that's what they're called. A picture of a new challenge coin designed to commemorate South Central Dallas's patrol's 15 years in existence. So for 15 years, Dallas South Central Patrol has been in existence. It's a group of guys who patrol that area. Tough area of town. So to commemorate 15 years, they all got these little challenge coins. The coin was being offered for sale. It was full of blatantly racist images, said Terrence Hopkins, president of the Black Police Association of Greater Dallas. The coin featured a Pillsbury Doughboy holding cash and a gun at an apparent drug house. The character had gold teeth and was holding an assault rifle in one hand and a stack of cash in the other. A Dallas police car and a purple car with large rims were visible, as was Big T Plaza, which is a known shopping center in South Oak Cliff. Hopkins said the Doughboy, the image of the Pillsbury Doughboy, refers to a movie where the main character is a drug dealer. Okay. So the words that were used, I'll stop here. Let's make sure we get these words right. Hours after blatant racism. Okay. That was the way the Dallas Morning News described it. It's sickening and disgusting is the way that Major Jim Lewis described it to a room full of people at the Polk Wisdom Branch Library yesterday. Hold on. There's another one that stuck out to me. It was full of blatantly racist images, said Terrence Hopkins, president of the Black Police Association of Greater Dallas. Now, if the larger question is, are there racist police? Oh, God, yeah. Oh yeah, look, there are racist pool cleaners. There are racist accountants. Are there racist police? Yes. Are there more racists employed by the police than in accounting? Well, I don't know, and you don't know that either. There's no way to really accurately come up with that number. So the problem is, of course, the power imbalance. If you are a racist accountant, I mean, maybe you can screw up somebody's taxes. But if you are a racist cop, then, there's a power imbalance between you and the community that you theoretically serve. So it's kind of a bigger problem, I suppose. But is it any more rampant than any other profession? I don't know. And I truly don't know how you could ever make that statement, how you could determine that other than just anecdotal evidence. We see the videos. So I'm not saying that there isn't a problem with racism in police departments. And hell, I'll even go so far as to say that there are probably some police departments where the racism is institutional from the ground up. Used to be that way all over. Just ask old Sheriff Bull Connor, right? I mean, this is not something that's being made up. This is a real thing. There have been institutionally racist police organizations, especially in the South. And I'm not going to let the Chicago Police Department, crazy racist. They used to do insane things. New York, everywhere, whatever. There's no shortage of gross examples of this, right? But man, I don't know. I'm going to show you these coins, okay? Now remember, blatantly racist, full of blatantly racist images. The major of the unit described it as sickening and disgusting. So I'm thinking, what the hell is on this challenge coin? How crazy racist must this? So let's look at the challenge coin and let's try and keep an open mind and let's just see, is this blatantly racist or maybe just tacky or maybe just a dumb guy who doesn't think all that deeply about the way these kinds of things could be taken by the greater public? Just screwed up, maybe. I don't know. But here we go. So let's look at these. All right, so I'm gonna put these up. I'm trying to make these as big as I can. I mean, okay, so here we go. Hold on. All right. So let me see if I can make this. There we go. Big. All right. So I guess it's the two sides of the coin. And the side that was described in the article is the one on the right. I'm guessing, I don't know, let's say South Central with the police badge and 15 years as heads. So tails would be the one that says Big T Plaza. I am looking at this and I don't see anything that is blatantly racist. I don't see a depiction of any human races at all. I see imagery that is certainly not gold grills in 2022. I do not necessarily think of being a racist, mile marker for black people. I don't. A lot of people have grills. Doughboy rims. I had rims. I had big rims on my car. Bullets. They're cops in a dangerous gang-infested area. I don't see any commentary here on the coins about race. I see a bunch of cultural comments. I see a bunch of depictions of what it is that they may see every day on patrol. Are you telling me that there aren't drug dealers who have Uzis and stacks of cash? Because I know there are. Of course there are. These are, I don't understand. I mean, I was thinking I would see this coin and it would be like, what? Like there's a hidden clan symbol, symbol. You know what I mean? Like, somewhere in the background, there's like a little like guy burning a cross. I don't know. That's what I was expecting. When you say blatant racism, when you say disgusting, there is nothing about this that is disturbing or disgusting other than, well, it's kind of tacky. I mean, I don't know. I would say that it's a little bit of a, how do I put this? Unprofessional, maybe, move by a police officer. Maybe there are some unprofessional, maybe there are some aspects of this coin that are unbecoming the Dallas Police Department, but disturbingly racist. I don't know, man. I don't. And again, I am not excusing the behavior of bad police. I'm simply not conflating them with this. This is not overtly bad behavior by police. It's stupid, and I can see how they would go. That's kind of unbecoming. How about something a little classier, a little bit less provocative? Whatever. I don't know. It is provocative. There's a gun. So, I mean, I don't know. I try to take these things one at a time. I just don't think it's the Dallas Morning News described that. The Dallas in the 1, 2, 3, 4, the third and fourth word that they use in the entire article, hours after blatant racism by a Dallas police officer. That's not true. That is not blatant racism. You might think that there are some racial undertones and you might be questioning what the motivation was behind some of the choices that he made, but you can't look at that and go, oh, that's obviously a white supremacist thing. It's not. It's not. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I have an open mind. You can try and convince me if you'd like, but I don't see that. All right, here we go. But that's okay. Hold on a second. Give me a second here. I got signed out for some reason. All right, there we go. I'll tell you this, though. That cop's career is probably over. I don't know how many years he's got into it, but, he's now got a nice red letter in his little file. I don't know how that's going to affect him. It's a mess. All right. Sorry, I'm having for some reason the whole thing just went down. I had to reboot everything. Jeff says, what is the reference to Big T Plaza supposed to mean? Why specifically mention that? It's probably the epicenter of their patrol area. These are policemen who patrol a very specific part of Oak Cliff, and the Big T is right there. Adam says, please, they won't do shit to that cop. Yeah, really? I don't know. We'll see. We will see. I'll tell you what. I hope you're wrong. I hope there's. I mean, you got to do something to him. Put him on dust. He's already been suspended. I mean, so I guess please, they won't do shit to that cop. He's already suspended Adam. So I mean, they've already done something to him. I don't know. I just don't know what he deserves for that. A kick in the ass. A kick in the, hey, dummy, what are you doing? Social media, you're a cop. You shouldn't be on social media at all. I have friends who are not on social media. I have friends who would love to be on social media. I have one friend in particular who lurks extensively on Facebook and Twitter. Likes things. That's the extent of it. Has never posted a damn thing. Why? Because he doesn't want to lose his job. Because he doesn't think it's worth it, because he's got a very good job with a very high profile company, and he is not going to be getting drunk at 2 a.m. and arguing politics or whatever it is, and then he gets fired. Cops should not be on social media offering their opinions on shit. And honestly, if they were smarter, they wouldn't be. A smart cop knows about the pitfalls of being a cop in this era. A smart cop knows that absolutely anything that he says while employed by a police department could be grounds for him losing his career. So you got to keep your mouth shut. Just keep your mouth shut. People are gunning for you. My friend who's a teacher. I have a friend who's a teacher who refuses to use social media. Won't do it. Say, I don't need to throw my career. I've been a teacher for 25 years. Or I'm going to throw my career away because I didn't realize I was arguing with a student, right? You know what I mean? It's like, it's all kinds, or what I'm going to say something in jest to one of my friends from high school on Facebook, and I'm going to lose my career over it. Because, cops shouldn't be posting on social media stuff that is anything other than, look what I'm cooking on the grill, look at my new car, and hey, check out my kid dunking a basketball. That's it. That's pretty much it. There should be no social opinions offered by people who are in positions that are being gunned for right now. And a poor choice of words, gunned for, of course. But Serena Williams is trending. Serena Williams, So is this going to be like a weekend thing? Are we going to be? Is this going to be the weekend of Serena at the U.S. Open? Serena won her first round game on Monday or Tuesday night, and then yesterday she came up against the number 2 ranked player in the world, and she beat her. She beat her. Serena Williams continues on. Serena Williams, of course, has announced that she's going to retire. This is going to be her last competitive competition. Competitive competition. Just this is going to be her last event, and she will retire when she loses at this event. She hasn't lost yet. She's won the first 2 rounds, so that's very exciting. Serena, very exciting. All right, is this exciting, or do I want to talk about this? Okay, so we'll mention this. Nicole Linton is a name that is circulating. Nicole Linton, you know what? Here, I'll pull it up just so you can see it, because maybe this is kind of important. Here we go. So Nicole Linton is a traveling nurse from Houston, Texas. And traveling nurses, you know, they move around the country and all that. She was in Los Angeles. And this was last month. She got into a car accident in Los Angeles. You know, let's see if we can show you this. All right. Okay. All right. So we've got no sound on that. All right. So this is the car accident. We remember this tragic. 6 people were killed, Los Angeles. I mean, it looked like an absolute madman driving this car. So here, let's see how big can we make it. Okay. All right, let's watch this. We'll see if we can pause it too. So these are going to be traffic cameras of the accident. All right. So again, Nicole Linton, traveling nurse from Houston, Texas, is in Los Angeles, and she's driving in Los Angeles. See this intersection, right? Okay, intersection. Obviously, you got cars moving through the intersection here, and these cars are all stopped at the stop sign or stoplight. So here we go. Let's watch. Look, if you don't want to see this, it's a terrible, terrible accident. It's frightening, but you know, the story. The story is the story. Did you see her? Look at her. See how quick she came? Let's do that again. I don't know if we can do it again. Look at that. Look at her. 90 miles an hour, straight through a red light. Look at that. 6 people she killed. She killed a baby. She killed an unborn baby. She killed a toddler, an unborn baby. She killed a bunch of people. Look at this. Look at how quickly she hits that intersection and then bursts into flames at the gas station. Man, we're all out there. We are all out there. This could have been any one of us. Any one of us. You just drive into the gas station to get a big gulp. I'm going to run up to the store. I'm going to grab something. You need anything? And then you never come home. Because Nicole Linton, a traveling nurse from Houston, is in the area. You got to be careful of her because she is having a thing. One more time. Unbelievable. Okay, so that's the story. 6 people died. She didn't. Isn't that always the crazy thing, right? The person who did it, they never died. They almost always make it. So here's what was happening. So now we know what was happening, and this is why she's trending. I mean, she didn't even try to stop. 90 miles an hour by the skid marks is what they said she was traveling when she hit the intersection. 90 miles an hour at a stoplight, straight T-boning into just heavy traffic, heavy rush hour traffic. 6 people are dead. They think she may have been blacked out at the time, and she was having a bipolar manic episode. Now, you hear a lot of talk about mental illness and how we need to take care of people and how we need to really confront the issue of mental illness because people are running around out there doing crazy stuff like Nicole Linton here. They're not just shooting up schools. Sometimes they have no intention of doing anything like that. They're just in the throes of an episode and they can't control what they're doing. She wasn't trying to kill 6 people. She was just going 90 miles an hour because her brain told her that was okay to do because she's got some crazy wiring up there. Nurse Nicole Linton faces timed sister Nurse Nicole Linton FaceTimed sister naked, may have lost consciousness before impact in fatal LA crash. The nurse facing murder charges for the fiery Los Angeles crash that killed 5 people and an unborn child was in the midst of a frightening mental health crisis and may have lost consciousness at the time of the crash. The filings describe Nicole Linton's 4-year struggle with bipolar disorder and a determination by doctors that the nurse had an apparent lapse of consciousness at the time of the crash. So here's why I bring this up. She obviously has serious mental problems, and there are others out there who have serious mental problems, and we are concerned about them, and we want to get them help. But most of the time when we think about these people, we think about impoverished people. We think of homeless people. We think of the homeless guy who pulls out the saber in the park and just starts killing people. We think of that. Why didn't we get him help? Where was the help for person? Folks, here's a situation where we have a professional, educated woman. She is a nurse. She works in the medical field. If we can't get a person like this to take their meds, if we can't get a person like this to handle their mental issues properly, a nurse, I don't know, that's a battle we got. I don't know how we fix mental illness. Did you see the video? Could have been any one of us. It could be you, could be me. Hell, could be me in 2 hours. Could be you in the next 20 minutes. Could be. Crazy is scary, man. There is crazy out there. I mean, can you imagine that? The unthinkable. You're just driving. All right, stoplight, hit the brake. I'm sitting here. And then just somebody come 90 miles an hour. Didn't even try to stop. Just accelerated through the intersection. That's horrifying. That is absolutely horrifying. If you were with us last night on Pillow Talk with myself and Parker, you heard us talk about this story because it broke last night, and I found it hysterical. I don't know if we can play it. Can we play? I don't know if this is going to be able to be played, but we'll see. It's Stacey Dash. I talked about her last night. Oh my God, did I fall into a Stacey Dash hole last night? So last night it started trending that Stacey Dash was making the rounds virally because of an Instagram post that she made, where she was having an emotional breakdown. She was completely distraught because she had just learned of the passing of DMX, and she was just devastated by it. And she's like, guys, I'm so sorry. Well, DMX died a year ago. So everybody's like, Stacey. So I watched the video. I thought it was hysterical just because, come on, a year ago. To me, it's an obvious fake. It's an obvious ploy for attention. She's not really that upset about it. She's just, looking for some, well, and it worked for her because she's been trending now for about almost 20 hours or so, whatever it is. So I talked to James, and we do this story, and we start talking about it, and he starts telling me all this stuff about Stacey Dash that I didn't know because I don't watch Fox News. I don't really pay attention. I mean, I know that Stacey Dash has been a bit of a kook her whole. I mean, she's remember her? She was in Clueless. She was the beautiful. She's so brave. Oh God, she's so beautiful. There was a point in time where you could look at Stacey Dash and go, that might be one of the most beautiful people on the planet. She was so beautiful. And it seemed like maybe she had an acting career, but she didn't because it never really took off after that. She hasn't really, I mean, we're still talking about her as being in Clueless, which is a movie that was made 30 years ago, 25 years ago, whatever it was. So, you know what I mean? So I knew her from Clueless, and I knew that she had been in trouble. She's been arrested a bunch of times because she's domestic abuse. Once with gunplay. She started shooting her gun at some boyfriend that she's been married 4 times. Years ago, she tried to do a whole thing about being sexually abused as a child. And then everyone in her family came out and was like, oh, just stop it, Stacey. I know you're not going to get another movie like Clueless, but stop trying to get attention. This didn't. So her family denied all of that. It's just, she's been in and out of rehab 4 times. She's been addicted to crack cocaine, Vicodin, and oxycodone, I believe is the other one. I don't know. I might not be right on that one. But so she's an interesting person because she's beautiful and she's old. That's what's the craziest thing about Stacey Dash. Until we saw the video yesterday. The craziest thing about Stacey Dash was that she is 55 years old and she looks 28. She still looks 28. She's still, beautiful. She doesn't have a wrinkle on her entire face. And then the video comes out and then people are commenting on another. So we're going to show you the video, but now I'm going to show you what everybody is commenting about. Let me pull it up for you. You may have already seen the video. It's so silly. And I don't know if you guys, you're going to have to tell me in the chat room again whether or not the sound is okay or not, because it seems to be hit or miss with audio. With when I stream video, I don't know what the problem is. I can't stream all video. It's terrible. I'm sure there's a way to fix it. I do not know how to do that. So we'll do whatever we can. All right, so here you go. So this is going to be Stacey Dash. And this is her video from last night. On the passing of DMX.
Hey, I'm ashamed. I didn't know. I didn't know DMX died. I didn't know.
It's a year.
From a cocaine overdose.
Okay.
I am today 6 years and 1 month.
Okay. She's today 6 years and 1 month clean. Good for you. You've had certainly well-documented battles with this stuff over the years, so good for you on the 6 years thing. As I said, it used to always be crazy that this is a 55-year-old woman who still looks like she's 28. People, Stacey, how does she look? That's not what people are commenting on today. People have moved past the whole her not knowing DMX died a year ago thing. That was the initial thing. People are talking about her face. She is trending alongside Sammy Sosa for the exact same reason. People are calling her Sally Sosa because, which I think is pretty good. She does. Sammy Sosa, professional baseball player, famously bleached his face. He didn't. Actually, I shouldn't project. I don't know why he did it, but he went from being who most people would describe as a black Central American. Where was Sammy Sosa from? Venezuela? I don't know. Whatever, somewhere in there. But you would call his skin color black, and now it's not because he had himself bleached. I mean, now he's a white guy. Stacey Dash was a dark-skinned, beautiful black woman. Look at her. Look at that. She's pale. That face isn't just a white face. That's almost albino. That's the problem with the bleaching thing. And we've seen it. I guess we've seen it to an extent with Michael Jackson, although the claims there was that he had vitiligo. He had an actual skin disease, so he was trying to, for other reasons. Sammy Sosa, terrible. You look terrible. These people, when they start these skin bleaching programs, because it's got to take a period of time, right? It can't just be one treatment. It's got to be over the course. You're bleaching out the pigment. You're bleaching out. You don't get a good shade. She looks like she's wearing pancake makeup. I mean, she's still pretty. She's still 55 and, she's pretty. But man, I don't get it. I do not get it. So after last night, we talked about Stacey Dash. I ended up back in, I was like, really? Because James is like, dude, she is like arch right wing. She's like Chachi. She's like in that. I'm like, I did I know that? I don't know. I guess I never really. I guess I was just always more interested in how silly, like all of her crazy missteps have been. And the fact that she's hot and she's still like, much older than me. And I can't believe that. So I fell down a Stacey Dash Wikipedia hole. And yeah, she's like for 10 years, she's been like a real serious, like not like crazy. Like I think she's crazy. I think that's obvious. Crack, cocaine, Vicodin, being arrested multiple times, firing a gun in her house at a boyfriend, married 4 times. I mean, she's crazy. But what I mean is like a serious political commentator, I guess. I watched like a bunch of stuff from her, blown away. I had no idea. I guess I didn't really think of the political ideology of a Stacey Dash until all of this came out. But now I'm like, holy shit, how did I miss that? Prank is trending. This is another interesting story that is happening right now. I say interesting, but it's actually troubling. So I talk a lot about how we and what I hope for the people that we gather together here. This show is for normal people. It's the only way I can describe it. This show, if you spend 10 hours a day watching OAN, you spend 10 hours a day watching, I don't know, what would the opposite of that be? MSNBC? Although not really. But whatever. I don't care if you're far right, if you're far left, if you're, MAGA, if you're Antifa, get the hell out of here. I don't want you here. You people are the weirdos. You are the 10 to 15% on the right fringe and the 10 to 15% on the left fringe, and you people suck, and you people are the reason that the rest of us, the other 70% of us who are somewhere in this purple, leaning red, conservative on some, progressive on others. I mean, the rest of us, that's where the rest of us are in this country. You people on the wings of our parties are destroying everything. You are pieces of shit, and you are both being ginned up. And what really bothers me about this is that you're too fucking stupid to realize when you're being ginned up, when you are being manipulated by people with ulterior motives and hidden agendas to get what they want. People that can get you riled up so that they can get you to come on out to my thing. We're doing a big rally and I'm going to be on stage. And oh, by the way, you can tip the show, the whole thing. Oh, and by the way, you can buy my coffee mug that says Sleepy Joe, or whatever. So there's absolute solid proof of an attempted ginning up of the rubes that occurred, and it's been blown out of the water. And all I can say is that this occurred on the far right, and thankfully, because this is how it needs to be done, the far right policed it. Someone on the far right did something, and someone else on the far right policed it and said, no, that's over the line. We aren't doing that. So I'm talking about this buffoon Gavin McInnes. Gavin McInnes is this foreigner, this guy. He's from Canada, and he's trying to reinvent himself as like this, great American and all this kind of stuff. Billionaire, started Vice, got kicked out of Vice for being crazy or whatever. He's like a billionaire. He's like a super rich guy. And he founded the Proud Boys. So we all know who the Proud Boys are. So that's who Gavin McInnes is. He's the leader of the Proud Boys. Gavin McInnes was doing his stream last Friday to his couple 100,000 rubes that tune in, that are looking to start a whole war and kill us in the street. Just kill anybody because they're just angry, bitter losers who. So in the middle of his show last Friday, the FBI raided Gavin McInnes and shut him down, shut his political talk down. He was being censored by the FBI. They raided him live on the stream. On the stream, he's in the middle of a show just like this, and it kind of went with something like this. He's just talking about whatever. I'm doing a show here. I'm doing a show. No, I'm not. Who are they? Is that police? Police are here? Police are. All right, I think we're going to get shut down. All right, I think we're getting shut down. Am I being arrested? What is going on here? Am I being arrested? And 100,000 rubes sat there and watched the FBI raid his stupid little Proud Boy show live on the stream. And oh, did they go nuts. It's time! It's time to go to war! They're shutting down free speech! He disappeared. Gavin McInnes disappeared. This was Friday. Nobody knows where he was. His supporters are saying that he's in Guantanamo. The FBI has now stepped up. First they do it to Trump. Now look what they're doing. They're shutting everyone down. They're shutting you down. The FBI is out of control. Look at what they're doing now. Defend Gavin. Defend the Proud Boys. Take arms. You know, that whole thing. That was the gin up. That was the, oh, look, they just, you're watching this show and they just raided the studio. So he went missing. So Gavin McInnes went missing. Never said anything. Didn't tweet anything. Nothing. Just FBI raids his studio in the middle of the show on Friday, and he gets taken off to a gulag. So another guy on the far right, a guy by the name of Owen Benjamin. Owen Benjamin is a former comedian and actor. It's crazy because if you look up Owen Benjamin, you'll go, oh, I know that dude. I've seen that dude in things. He used to do TV and all that stuff, but he went far right. He went underground. And, you know, like a number of these people do, making your way in entertainment is all about identifying your target demo. Like I said, I keep telling you, my target demo is that 70 in the middle. Who I'm not targeting are you crazy fucks on the right and you crazy fucks on the left. The rest of us normal people who hold some right ideals and some left ideals, that's who this show is from. That's my target demo. It's pretty wide. It's a big net, but whatever. So the target demo for these shows are people who are upset, who are bitter, who are, you know, basically angry. Owen Benjamin has his own little thing, certainly not as big as Gavin McInnes's and his Proud Boy thing. But Owen Benjamin, after this went down, started texting with his friend Gavin McInnes. Remember now, Gavin McInnes is in a gulag. It's now like 4 hours after the FBI has raided the Proud Boys stream. Gavin's in a gulag. They're talking about it on Reddit. They're talking about how we'll never see him again. They're going to disappear him. He's going to go to Guantanamo. And how can we stand for this? We must take to the streets right now. We must start burning down federal office. You know, that whole thing. That was the buzz for the weekend. So a couple hours after this happened, when Gavin was supposed to be in a gulag somewhere, Owen Benjamin reaches out and starts texting with Gavin, and he starts getting texts back. Gavin's not in a gulag. This is Friday. His show just got raided. Everybody saw it. The FBI is out of control. And now Gavin McInnes is just freely texting with Owen Benjamin. So Owen Benjamin sent the first text, which is this for real? To which, and by the way, these texts have been released now, to which Gavin McInnes responds to the question of, is this real? He responds, it's a prank. Don't tell. Okay? It's a prank. Don't tell. So now, secretly on text, the guy who was just raided by the FBI, who's trying to gin up all the people into going to war against the FBI, talk about a false fucking flag. You know, these people were always claiming about this is a false fucking flag. So the guy who was supposedly, you know, in a gulag is now texting freely with another right-wing streamer, Owen Benjamin. Owen Benjamin, is this real? Gavin McInnes, it's a prank. Don't tell anyone. Owen Benjamin, you going to reveal it's a prank? Because I have friends writing blogs about this right now. Gavin McInnes, never. Owen Benjamin, so you're just going to pretend the FBI raided your studio? Tons of people are texting me. People are freaking out about this. To which Gavin McInnes responds, I never said they did. To which Owen Benjamin says, okay, that's true. You didn't, because he didn't. He didn't say that they did. What he said was, you can see it. It's out there. I just can't play it because I tried it earlier and the sound is bad. Actually, you know what? Maybe I can play it. This looks like a different one. Let me see if I can play this. So this is how it went down. This is how he tried to dupe his audience into thinking that he being politically persecuted because of the views that he shared with the great unwashed, 100,000 rubes or whatever they're listening. All right. So actually we do have, maybe this is a good copy of it so we can watch how it went down on Friday. So Owen Benjamin basically released those texts telling the world that Gavin McInnes, you know, they're on the same team. They're on the same. Right. So there, stop it. The not raiding people. We are not under. This was a bit. And then all of the Proud Boys got mad at Owen Benjamin because he ruined the joke. Okay, so I ask you, what the fuck is the joke about 100,000 people deciding on Friday night that they're going to go throw a Molotov cocktail at the local FBI office because Gavin McInnes got raided and they saw it with their own eyes? Is it a prank? Because if it's a prank, at some point the prank is revealed. Is it a joke? Because at some point there's a punchline to the joke. He says himself, Gavin McInnes, I'll never say that it was a prank. I will never admit that. So he was intentionally misleading people into thinking that our federal law enforcement agencies were kicking in doors of political streamers. Why? To gin people up into thinking that now it's go time. These people are criminals. This son of a bitch, who, by the way, is in Marseille, France with his family. That's where Gavin McInnes is. That's what the plan was. They were going to take an end of summer vacation with his family to the south of France, and he thought, how can I make my vacation interesting? Maybe I won't say I'm going on a vacation. Maybe I'll just disappear and I'll let everybody think I've got it. I'll pretend that the FBI arrested me and they're torturing me. And then when I come back from Marseille, and I'll just say, oh, it's terrible. These people are out of control. All right, so here it is. So let me see if I can show this to you. Here's the video. I hope it shows up. All right. This is the big shit. This is the shit that people are being lied to. People are being agitated to do things because they believe that they are being persecuted. People think things that just aren't happening, like the FBI is raiding. Here, we're going to show this. Here we go. I hope we can see it. I hope we can see it. All right.
All right, I'm happy to do that. I'll get a lawyer, and we will sit down and have a conversation. We'll schedule a meeting, and we'll sit down with my lawyer.
So he's pretending that he's talking to law enforcement.
I didn't let you in.
I didn't let you in. They busted it. The FBI. Well, he's not saying the FBI. He's not. That was the job of his producer, who an hour later texted to the 1 million+ followers, "It's true. I just confirmed Gavin is in the custody of the FBI." The producer showed all the people who watched that an hour later, texted out, "It's confirmed. This happened." It didn't happen. They were trying to gin people up to do stupid shit. So a crazy person like the lady we talked about in LA, who's having a manic episode, who couldn't bring herself to hit the brake when she came up to a stoplight doing 90 miles an hour. So that lady out here with her mental problems, and then you got a whole bunch of other people probably watching this stupid ass Proud Boys show. I'm sure they're not mentally solid. What's to say these people don't see this and then go, well, that's it. I'm going to the mall. I'm going to kill a bunch of people. Are crazy. We can't be ginning up crazy people. And that is the modus operandi of so many pieces of shit. Not just on the right, but on the left as well. Although this is a glowing example of the right ginning up their people into thinking shit is happening that actually isn't happening. This is probably, to me, this is the biggest. You want to talk about the soul of the nation? Biden's going to make a speech tonight in Philadelphia about the soul of the nation, fighting for the soul of the nation. Well, this is the other side. This is the other side. This is the shit side that wants to turn us into a black heart nation, okay? This is the side that wants to destroy our morality, our soul, our decency, our kindness. These people are openly, willingly, and now confirmed making shit up to gin up stupid people. I hate this story. I hate, and when I say I hate it, I mean it's one that I like to talk about because this is really not good. All right, let's move on to some happier notes. I don't know. Russell Wilson is trending because the Denver Broncos say that they will extend him. They're making him a very wealthy man. 5-year extension worth $245 million with, are you ready? I'm old school NFL. I remember when there was no such thing as a guaranteed contract in the NFL. Now, contracts guaranteed, especially if your name is Russell Wilson. He's got $165 million guaranteed. So you got to figure he's got to be up over $200 million, right, for a career. Russell Wilson, the little guy out of Wisconsin that wasn't expected to be any good. There you go. Or certainly wasn't expected to turn into Russell Wilson. He was expected to be okay. I mean, he was a good quarterback. Southwest airdrop. Southwest airdrop is trending. Did you see this story? I love me some tech. I love me some crazy tech. Okay, so this is a new thing, airdropping, where I don't know how this works. I have no idea how this works. The pilot of a Southwest Airlines flight threatened to cancel takeoff after someone on the plane sent a naked photograph to other passengers. The incident, involving Apple's AirDrop file transfer service, involved a flight from Houston to Cabo San Lucas. It's a bunch of people going, oh, he's partying. He's probably already drinking. The vacation started a little early for this guy. So here's the deal. This is what the pilot said. So the pilot comes over the speaker. Actually, you know what? I think we have. Oh, you know what? But this is going to be one of them sources that we can't use. Yep. Nope. Sorry. This is going to be a bad source. Can't use it. The pilot came over the speaker and said, so here's the deal. If this continues while we're on the ground, I'm going to have to pull back to the gate. Everybody's going to have to get off. We're going to have to go get security involved. Vacation is going to be ruined, the pilot could be heard saying in a video that's been seen about 3 million times on TikTok. Pilot goes on to say, so you folks, whatever that airdrop thing is, quit sending naked pictures and let's get yourself to Cabo. So, so there's somebody on the plane I don't know how the airdrop thing works. So I don't know how that works. But it seems to me that is it a mistake that you just send it to strangers, or are you literally just trying to send naked pictures? And this is a guy, right? It's 100% a guy. We don't know who it is. They don't even say, other than a couple of women are the ones who complain. So I'm guessing it's a guy. So, because a woman doesn't do this. A guy doesn't go, well, while we're sitting on the tarmac, maybe I'll just send a picture of my dick to all these people. A girl doesn't do that. A girl would never think that way. I honestly don't know why there's any men who would either. But, Kevin says it's intentional. It's maybe a mistake. Okay, all right. Yeah, you're right. I tend to think it's exceptional. It's intentional too. All right, so there we go. That's that with that. Southwest airdrop. Be careful with those airdrops. Don't know what that's about. Let's see what else we got here. This is fun. This is out of Dallas. Are you interested in this? Okay, so here's a little something for us local folks. The Dallas. This is Plano Police. The Plano Police Department. Right, as being reported by KRLD Radio in Dallas. Plano Police Department are out with their list of the most stolen cars in DFW. Are you ready? You want to hear if your car's on the list? Is your car, you going to be driving down the street? Is your car in danger of being, do you have a Dodge? I don't know why Dodges seem to be very popular among people stealing shit around here. Plano Police are out with a list of the most stolen cars in the DFW area, and they include number one, the number one most stolen car in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, the Dodge Ram TRX. What? Okay, pickup trucks. I'm guessing that's a pickup truck. A lot of pickup trucks. I think he's got a Dodge Ram. Does he have a Dodge Ram? I think he's got a Dodge Ram. He's got the guy who owns the property where I live here in the house. He has like a super tricked out gigantic pickup truck. Like it's like super expensive. It's like one of those super expensive pickup trucks, but I think it's a Dodge. I think it says Ram on the front. I don't know. It's pretty cool. It's pretty big. I don't like driving it. I've had to drive it. I'm a car guy. I like to drive cars, sports cars preferably. Give me a little, anything that makes me look like a bear in a roller skate, like the smaller car. Then I love a small car. I love being a big guy in a small car. Number two car, the Dodge Charger. Challenger Scat Pack Hellcat SRT Daytona. So there you go. That's two. Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk. What is a Trackhawk? I don't know what a Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk is. Next, you got the Chevy Corvette. Then you got the Cadillac CTS-V. Then you've got the Yukon, a GMC Yukon and the GMC Sierra. Chevy Silverado and the Chevy Tahoe. And finally, bringing up the rear of the most stolen cars in DFW, the Cadillac Escalade. You know what I noticed on here? All American cars. All right. Steal American. It should be buy American, steal foreign, but okay, all right. Apparently, we're stealing American cars. Police recommend drivers add a tracking device to their car, like the Apple AirTag, more of the AirTag, because it could make it easier to recover. All right, so there you go. Once again, most stolen cars: Dodge Ram TRX, Dodge Charger, Challenger Scat Pack, Hellcat SRT Daytona, the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, the Chevy Corvette, the Cadillac CTS-V, the GMC Yukon or Sierra, the Chevy Silverado, the Chevy Tahoe, and the Cadillac Escalade. There you have them. Do you drive any of those? Got any of them? I don't think I've owned any of those cars. Oh, yeah, I did. I had a Cherokee. I had a Grand Cherokee for a very short period of time. West Point is trending. West Point is trending because there's a mural at West Point that was commissioned in, like, I don't know, the early 1900s by some artist. And the mural at West Point has it's a bunch of different plaques that are arranged in so individual plaques arranged, maybe something like this, like what I got by individual plaques lined up next to each plaque represents a different moment in American history. From the Columbus's voyage to the Pilgrims to the Indians to the Revolution. Each plaque has something, and one of the plaques has a depiction of a Klan member. Okay, there's no statement. This shows American history. And by the way, it should be noted that it also shows not so great things in American history. It doesn't just show the glorious, moments of our history. It depicts the slave trades. It depicts the Civil War. It depicts all this stuff. So anyway, one of the plaques has a little guy in a Klan head, and everybody's like, "That's got to go away. You got to get rid of that. You can't have that." And scholars and normal people are like, "All right, we're not going to start just ignoring history." All right. What do you think these plaques are? This is about the history of the United States, good and bad. You want to start jacking with that? You want to start eliminating these things? How about we leave it up and in 100 years, some little kid says, "Who's the guy with the ghost hat?" And then that parent has a conversation about the Ku Klux Klan and how terrible they are. How about that? How about that? That's how these things, we don't just eliminate them. We don't just pretend they never existed. We're not in 1960s Soviet Union where we are turning people into non-persons, which was a real thing. The Soviets used to do that. There were things that occurred in the Soviet Union that they were embarrassed about, and there were people who were responsible for them. So there was a policy, and it was called being turned into a non-person. Meaning you never lived, you never existed. They would go back, if you did something that embarrassed them, they would go back and erase every single lick of your existence so that nobody knew what you did, nobody knew how you were punished for it, nobody knew that this ever went down, which, is stupid. That's like sticking your head in the sand. That's what an ostrich does. That's not how we learn from our mistakes, by simply pretending they never occurred in the first place. But that was the way that the Soviet Union did it. And this is the same kind of argument that is being made by people who want this plaque that depicts the racial problems with the Ku Klux Klan eliminated from this. It's not a plaque that says, it's got the Klan and then it says "Go Klan" or "Klan #1." It's not like that. It's the Klan is a thing. The Klan does and did exist, and the Klan did play a role in the the first film that was ever released, the first Hollywood film that was ever released was a glorification of the Ku Klux Klan. This is a thing that actually existed. So you can't just pretend it didn't. You can't pretend it didn't, because then, you know what? In 100 years, a new group will start, and it'll be a bunch of people, and they'll be wearing hoods, but this time it'll be green hoods. They'll be wearing green hoods, and it'll look just like the Klan, and they won't know that they're imitating the Klan because they didn't know that the Klan ever existed. So how do you teach people about our positive evolution and how we have become better as a society and how we do recognize our missteps. And then in future generations, we try and fix those and certainly not replicate those missteps. Well, the only way we do that is by keeping history alive and understanding that a simple recognition of something having occurred in history is not an endorsement of it. It is not a glorification or a romanticization of it. It isn't. It is just an anointment that this occurred in history. We should talk about it. It wasn't a good moment, but we don't do that. We're very Soviet in that way. We're like the barrier. No, cancel it. Make it go away. Make it like it never happened. I don't ever even want to think about that. You're a child. If that's the way you work, if that's the way your mind processes information, you are a child. Let's see here. So you know what, West Point, they'll decide. The Army's like, yeah, this is not some. So people are demanding that they take it down, and the Army is like, yeah, I don't think we're gonna take it down. And it's becoming a whole thing, but whatever. Whatever. What else do I have? What else? We're running out of stuff here, folks. We are almost out of stuff already. West Point. All right. You know what? That's going to do it for the things that I've prepared for today as far as the hot topics and all that good stuff. So let's jump in and let's see what has been trending and what has popped up while we've been on the air here these past 95 minutes or so that we've been on. Let's see. Let me see. Oh, I see right out here. I see Oath Keepers trending. Are they like Proud Boys? They're like Proud Boys, right? Oath Keepers, Proud Boys. Just a bunch of angry dudes who are gonna. Ginny Thomas is trending. Don't know why. Breaking Washington Post. Ginny Thomas pressed lawmakers to overturn Joe Biden's 2020 victory. I don't care about that. I don't care. We don't do that shit here. We don't talk about that kind of stupid, divisive bullshit. Halo is trending. Never played that game. I understand it's a good game. Actor Leah Michele addressed bullying allegations during her time on Glee and called rumors that she cannot read sad during a recent interview with the New York Times. That is that is funny. I'm going to do that. That's going to be one of my new weapons. That's great. Okay. So the next time like somebody brings up somebody that like I don't particularly like, I'm just going to start using that insult. It's not even an insult. I'm going to throw that out there. I'm going to start saying, yeah, you know, that guy, he's kind of, he can't read. That's like my new thing. He can't read. Because it seems like such an absurd thing in 2022. But apparently they were saying on the set of Glee, people were making fun of Leah Michele because they claimed that she couldn't read. Like she was like some great athlete who had been, advanced, even though she didn't pass her courses. Actor Leah Michele addressed bullying, and she says that it was sad, the rumors that she couldn't read. I hate that guy. Hey, do you know he can't read? What do you mean he can't read? Yeah, he can't read. He's illiterate. And then just change the subject. Just leave it out there to then change the subject so that you don't have to go any further than that. And that this person that you just talked to is now going around going, oh, Troy Duncan can't read. Just something, whoever you're talking about. Hey, have you ever met Dale Hansen? Yeah, I do. I like him. Fun fact, he can't read? What? What do you mean Dale Hansen can't read? Yeah, he can't read. He's been faking it all these years. So what are you doing this weekend? So you didn't change the subject. Just throw it out there. Stick it in their head. It's not true, but at some point in a year or so, they'll be at a backyard party and they'll go, I heard he can't read, and everyone will laugh at him. And then that's when I win. See, it's a slow victory, but that's when I win. 5 years later when they laugh at him. Zendaya is trending again, and why shouldn't she? She's having her moment. Wendy Bell. Who's Wendy Bell? Former President Donald Trump called into conservative radio. Okay, nope. Purdue is trending. Cam Reddish is trending. Oath Keepers. I'm interested in why Oath Keepers are trending. Let's see what's going on here. What are they getting into? What trouble are they starting? Breaking. Kelly. This person spells their name Kellye. Kelly, Keellye, and then her last name is Sorelle. No idea how to pronounce her name. Is it Kelly Sorelle? I have no idea. Lawyer for the Oath Keepers has been charged with conspiracy. All right. We again, I don't care about this. We don't care about that stuff. I thought it was something fun. I thought we had some fun Oath Keeper stuff. We do not. Just boring. Just more of this just matriculation of our justice system of these little things. They take forever. So done with it. All right. I don't see anything else. Let me see. There's nothing good happening. Let me go to Google Trends. Let's see what's happening on Google Trends right now. Maybe there'll be more. Very exciting. Got my kid this weekend. Well, actually, I'm not sure. That's the thing. Not sure if I have my kid this weekend. I think I do. Labor Day weekend, we're going to do a big lake. It's a big thing out at the lake. My kid sprained his MCL in football yesterday. So he's got a doctor thing, he's got we don't know what's happening with him. So I don't know. I don't know what my weekend's about. I don't know what's going to happen with my weekend. I don't know if I'll have my kid. I don't know if I don't know. I mean, I hope I do. I mean, he could be here but if he's going to be like laid up, like with I'm not going to take it personal. Like when he goes, well, Dad, if I'm just going to be laid up, I'd really rather just be laid up in, my primary bedroom with all my creature comforts, my big screens. I get that, right? I'll be like, yeah, dude, don't worry about it. You stay home, you recover. I'll talk to you. Timmy Trumpet is trending. Timmy Trumpet. We played him last night. I love Timmy Trumpet. Timmy Trumpet is the guy who does the Edwin Diaz walk-in music song Narco. That whole thing. Very cool. He's trending. Okay. Penn State football, man. Oh, Army Hammer's trending all of a sudden. Why is he trending? Why did he pop up? I'm always down for a good Army Hammer story. Let's see. Why is he trending? All your Army Hammer questions are answered. Army Hammer remains under investigation for brutal rape in L.A. All right. Is his new show debut tonight? Is that why he's trying? Not his new show, but the show about the House of Hammer, about his family. Remember we went over this. Army Hammer comes from this incredibly wealthy and super connected family. Armand Hammer was like his grandfather. Okay. So we're talking about one of the most powerful secret little family. They always talk about the secret trilateral commission or whatever it is. If there was one of those things, like his grandpa or uncle has a seat on the board, right? That's the family that he comes from. So there's this new Discovery series called House of Hammer, which talks about not just Army Hammer, the actor who's going through some stuff right now because of his sexual peccadillos, but it's also about his father. Like 3 of the men in his family have murdered people and never got charged for it. Just flat out murdered dudes and, never got charged. From Silver Spoons, he's a Silver Spoon kid. From Silver Spoons to accusations of sexual assault, the stomach-churning allegations against disgraced actor Armie Hammer and his chilling family history are at the center of a Discovery docuseries that's out Friday. Okay, so it starts Friday. The 3-part House of Hammer features Hammer's accusers as well as the sister of his dad. But that's weird. His aunt. Right? Just call her his aunt. The 3-part House of Hammer features Hammer's accusers as well as the sister of his dad, businessman Michael Hammer, discussing an alleged history of abuse within her family. Casey Hammer, that's her, that's the aunt, who self-published a tell-all book, Surviving My Birthright, back in 2015, compares her family to the greedy, dysfunctional Roys at the center of HBO's Succession. In a House of Hammer trailer, on the outside, we were a perfect family, she says, but magnify Succession a million times, and that was my family. Here's everything to know about Hammer and his downfall. Army Hammer's alleged victims tell their story in chilling trailer. Okay, whatever. He's a creepy sex guy. He's a creepy sex guy, super rich, super powerful, probably just an insufferable prick. Knowing the family that he comes from, knowing the way he was raised, limousines, elite prep schools, boarding school in Sweden, went to boarding school in the Alps, that kind of thing. Dude's probably a total prick. Like, there would be no way that you could go on a long car ride with him and think that you would come away anything less than just wanting to murder him. But on top of that, he's incredibly good looking, super wealthy, powerful family. And now we're going to make him a movie star. And oh, look at him. He looks like a classic movie star. So good looking, so tall. So he starts to get on the fast track to being a big time movie star. And he starts getting weird with chicks. Now, this guy's weird with chicks, okay? This guy's got some weird... I'm going to watch this because I'm intrigued at not even so much about him. I'm more interested in, like, the family dysfunction, the how far back does this dysfunction in Armand Hammer's family go? But yeah, anyway, okay. So, but basically, he's into cannibal play. Yeah, that's apparently a thing. He likes to engage in fantasies about cannibalism with his sexual partner. It's just so weird. Anyway, he's done. He will never rebound from this. He will never earn another penny acting again. I can't imagine that Armie Hammer is going to have any career after all of this weird shit about him. It's finally made public in this big documentary. I mean, until recently, it's just been little stories, and Hollywood won't touch him. I mean, he's been dropped from most of the films that he was slated. He had like 5 pictures in production. He's been dropped from all of them because of all of this shit. So yeah, now this is a situation where I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Look, I don't like the destroying of people and their ability to earn an income and all that kind of stuff. And because we were talking earlier about the Dallas cop, right, with the coin. Probably a stupid choice for him to do that coin, but I didn't find it to be overtly racist or disturbingly racist, as it was termed in the article that we read. But Armie Hammer, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got to reboot now. I'm having computer problems. I'm a little bit distracted. He'll never make another dime. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not for the canceling, but in Armie Hammer's case, that's fine, because he'll never make another dime from acting. But that's okay, because he's got like $10 billion in his family's bank account. So trust me, Armie Hammer's going to be fine not making $10 million a picture. Okay, he'll be fine. He's still going to have a nicer car than me. He's still going to live in a nicer place. He's still going to have, he'll be fine. You know what it is? Armie Hammer just doesn't get to be a celebrated movie star anymore. And that's fine by me. I'll take it. Little son of a bitch. Talk about hitting the birth lottery. Good looking, tall, big, athletic. Apparently he can act. I don't know. Can he act? Talented, wealthy, powerful. Just screw him. You know what? Fine. Cancel him. He's going to be fine, but he doesn't get to be a movie star anymore. I'll go with that. That's it. I got nothing else, folks. I think we're done. For the day. I appreciate you hanging out with me. We'll be back tonight with Parker. Pugs and Parker proudly present Pillow Talk. That's the second stream of the day. We do that every night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's myself and James Parker, and that's more conversational. This has been all about getting you briefed up on all the things people are talking about today. Did we just get breaking news? Breaking news! Oh boy, this just popped up. I just watched it literally appear. Look at this. Hold on. Oh, no. Never mind. It's not breaking news. Thursday. It formed Thursday, September the 1st. All right, we have a tropical storm warning. We've been talking the last couple of days. I've been saying, this is a weird hurricane season, right? The start of the hurricane season has been really quiet. We were talking about the anniversaries of Hurricane Andrew, Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Harvey was just yesterday. All of these hurricanes, and we've been talking the last couple of days or towards the end of the month about how, wow, it's been a quiet start. And even the hurricane people, whoever the hurricane people are, they said that this could be the first August on record where there is not a single named storm or tropical storm in in the history of them doing this. The National Hurricane Center, that's what it is. The National Hurricane Center. So that happened. There were no named storms in August. That's it. Here we are, September 1st. We got one. We finally got one. The National Hurricane Center has named Tropical Storm Danielle. Tropical Storm Danielle has formed Thursday in the Atlantic, but it is not currently a threat to any land. The storm is expected to become a hurricane in 2 days or so. The U.S. National Hurricane Center is watching. All right, so there you go. So we got one. Just trying to see where it is. Doesn't look particularly big. Doesn't even look to be near any land. I like to go to Google Maps. You can do that. I don't know if you're here. Well, why don't I do it right here? This is always fun. I like to go to here is it? All right. So it formed in the Atlantic. Oh, everything is working so slow today. What? There we go. This is no good. Okay. Yes. Oh, this is all taking so long. Where's my cloud cover? Where are my storms? Hold on, I'm pulling up the maps because on Google Maps you can see the actual storms as they begin to form. And yeah, not getting that. I'm not getting that now. It's taking forever to download. I wanted to look at the new tropical storm. All right. Never mind, guys. Never mind. Just another thing. Didn't work out.
I have got my poetry. I have got my songs. See me through the lonely nights.
Lonely night.
Need me to be strong.
All right.
I am like the death.
So it's in the Atlantic. All right. Are we sharing this? Are we seeing it? Okay. So where is this? What would it be? I don't see anything that's an obvious. Maybe this. Maybe is this out here? Nah, they said 2-3 days, right? Should be a hurricane. Not going to hit land. I don't know. It's one of these here. Not a very good example. It's not a really well-formed storm. When it becomes a real hurricane, that's when you can really see them on the Google Maps. Here, you see it. This is something. Okay, so they start out here off the coast of Africa, right? This is where all of that stuff happens, the warm waters or whatever it is. And then they build as they travel this. They come straight across from West Africa and they build and build and build and then they hit us. That's how it works. That's how it works. Did you know that? Did you know those hurricanes, they almost always start in West Africa? They travel across the ocean, sucking up all that warm water, building up steam. Never-ending quest. Yeah. All right, tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow is another day. So I just received a text that says, can we hold on? That works for you. All right. Tomorrow's show we may take the day off tomorrow. We may. I apologize for that, but I have an obligation now. I don't know. Put a pin in it. We are not doing a show on Monday, so there's no Labor Day show because probably not going to be here. I don't know about tomorrow. We might this might be it. This might be it until Tuesday of next week.
Different way, so baffling to some.
So to that end, if you can tip the show, I'm not going to have another opportunity to beg you for tips. You can go to Venmo, you can go to PayPal. Thank you to Joel. Thank you to, well, I hate doing thank yous because then you forget people, and that is the worst. But yeah, the show runs on your gratuities. It's the end of the month. It is still the end of the month because I don't pay my bills till the 4th. Although it's a holiday weekend, so so if you want to tip the show, go ahead. Thank you so much. If you can't, that's okay. I still love you. I get it. Parker and I tonight at 9. Pillow Talk. Got that. I'll know more about whether or not there'll be a show tomorrow. I'll know at 9 o'clock tonight, and then I'll put it on Facebook and let y'all know. But yeah, there will not be a show on Monday. There won't be a Labor Day show. Unless I don't have my kid. If my kid is banged up with the MCL strain, then I'll do a show. Then I'll stay home. I won't do that. That might be interesting. No, it won't. There ain't gonna be any, but everybody's gonna be out. Nobody's gonna be streaming at noon on Labor Day. I don't know. If you haven't noticed, I'm working it out in real time in my head. I don't know what I think. Although it is fun that when I do work these things out in my head, the way I just did, you get to see in real time how schizophrenic me tells me all my ideas are stupid. I just did it there. I said, maybe I'll do a show on Monday. And then schizophrenic me jumped in and said, nobody's going to be around to listen to a stream on Labor Day. See, you just got an example of how that works in my head all the time. I'm a mess.